Self-reported metrics. In this section, over the next number of videos, we're going to have a look at different ways in which we can collect information directly from our users about their experience of using software. And that's really very important because, obviously, software we design for our users and their experience of using it is incredibly important to us. We want to understand the aspects that they found easy, the aspects that they found confusing or difficult, the things that they loved, that they liked, the things that they didn't like, because all of that provides us with really rich and useful information that we can then use to improve our products. When we think about how we ask and elicit this information from our users, we have a range of options. We can use open-ended questions, where we invite the user to talk or to express about their views around the system. We can also use more structured questions where we're asking them to evaluate their response against some defined scale. They're all valid and different ways of doing it, but in each case it's really very important that we have good question design, questions that are likely to elicit the types of information we are interested in finding out more about, questions that will not introduce biases into the types of data that we receive from the users. And if you think back to some of the earlier sections in this course when we're thinking about anchoring effects and other related elements, that maybe gives you a bit of an insight into why it's quite important about making sure we are framing our questions in a neutral way so we're collecting accurate information and views and values from our users. Now, self-reported data, it is subjective in nature. It's the views of the user. And we've just had a look at a number of performance metrics. These are more based on actual performance that we measure. So from a scientific point of view, you might go, well, the performance metrics are better. They're not, certainly not with regard to software. When we're thinking about the experiences of using software, it is the experience of the user that in very, very many, not all, but in very, very many cases is the most important element. We need to make sure our users enjoy using the software. And in fact, if they enjoy using it, in many cases that trumps levels of efficiency or levels of task success or levels of task completion. Not all cases. There's a number of applications where being able to do it safely and being able to do it reliably and being able to do it efficiently, they're the most important elements. And if we can't do that, there can be very significant negative consequences. But for many other ones, it's the views of the user that count. If they're going to go on and buy this, if they're going to continue using it, if they're going to recommend it to other people, that depends upon their experience of using it. So through all of this here, we really do want to collect the views of the user so we can understand, do we have happy, enthusiastic, passionate users? And if not, well, what information can we glean from them that will help us improve our software so that it's more likely then to elicit that reaction from our users? In the next section after this, we're going to go on to look at rating scales. Because that's one of the elements that we can use then when we're thinking about, if we're asking users questions, well, how do we elicit information from them in a way that we can then analyze and be able to draw inferences from.